Guys, Ash from Imaginary Guys here. I'm back with another deck profile. Did a bunch of play testing before I was content enough with this deck to be able to post it. But we'll get right into it. As you can notice the old, I think it was set 11 deck box here. Seal Dragons. And, aha! There it is. Our starter is going to be Ladrin. And there's a lot of better starters or other starters that you can use, but I use it just because he's new, I guess. But his is a GB1, put in Soul, and choose a Vanguard to end a turn. It gets once a turn when a card is put in drop zone from your Soul, not this card, call it to real. So there's some other cards that you might want to use, but I feel like it's kind of like one of those witches that call themselves, but without the really major cost. So he can replace himself. That's just really good, and gives you a Soul. And that's why I really like him. So moving on, I run, of course, 4 heals. I think that's the new one. Goddess of Youth, Hebe. So, 4 heals. I run 4, 8 crit. This is the Battle Maven Kurihime. I believe anything but the Witch deck and maybe the Reality deck will run her. Just because she's really good putting Soul, because it gives you another Soul fodder, and gives plus 3k to something, which is pretty decent actually. So, what is our last trigger? Well, probably one of the best cards in Genesis right now. I run 4 Dreaming Dragon, and what it is a GB1. You can put this card on top of your deck. It's an auto ability, by the way. So at the end of your turn, you may pay the cost. If you do, return all cards in your drop zone to your deck and shuffle your deck. The 10 or more cards return, draw a card. So draw a card is not as important, but it's nice. So can you replace this? But it's the fact that you can selectively Soul Blast triggers from your Soul, because you're going to be Soul Blast, they're Soul Charging, whatever. Selectively taking out the triggers, putting them in the drop zone, and then you put them all back in your deck, among other cards that you can use to help you as well. So it's one of the things, but it's really good, really insane actually. Then I run Skull, and this is the Great 3 Searcher for the Fenrir, and also the Stride fodder thing gives plus 2 in hand for the Stride cost. Then I run Farhati. I don't really get to use him that much, but he's really good. Can be insane. When a card is put into drop zone from Soul, it gets plus 1k, so it can grow pretty big. But most of the time my opponent kills it, or it's a good target, so to say. Then I run 2 Hephaestus. It's the promo. When this unit boosts, you Soul Charge 1, basically. Constant Soul Charger, pretty decent. This spot, though, can be almost anything. I just choose to do this because I don't want to use Counter Blast, and it's nice to have extra Soul every now and then, especially with this build. Then, of course, I run the Goddess of Decline Hell, and she is the unflipper, but can only guard Vanguard, Perfect Shield. So, pretty nice there. Then I run into my other grade 3s. I run 3 Hesperus. This slot can be pretty much anything as well. I chose her because she's a 9k body, and she has an ability that when it goes from the drop zone into the drop zone from Soul, you can give your Vanguard, when it hits, retire a unit. So gives them extra pressure on the Vanguard. So 3 of those, and then I run 4 Jormungand, I think, or whatever it's pronounced. Basically the same grade 1. Whenever a card goes to Soul, goes to drop zone from Soul, plus 1k. So really nice. Of course, this is GB1 as well. So not a lot of early turn things. Like, if you guys haven't noticed, the GB effects are basically another form of a limit break and so on. But anyway, next grade 2 is Gleipnir. It is the when it boosts and attacks a Vanguard effect units that every clan sees at the beginning. It's Counter Blast 1 though, GB1. When it attacks a Vanguard and is boosted, you can pay the cost, and then Soul Charge 3. And if you if a card was put into the drop zone from your soul during this turn at all, before this effect happens, draw a card. So you want to attack after you do some type of soul blasting. But it's really nice. It basically kind of blasts 1 for the plus and whatnot, and to fill your soul up again. It's really nice there. So going on to the grade 3s, I run 4 Fortuna. I was running Yatagarasu, which is really good and defensive. The problem was I have too much soul with it, especially if they were keeping my rear guards locked down, and I couldn't really do anything. With this, though, I can do something. I can either, if it's limit break, I can keep checking for triggers, and if I know that there are triggers, I can give it plus whatever. So, it can be a last resort, and you will be able to soul charge pretty high with this. And this is if you even need to use this. So, hopefully you're running Fenrir. So, Fenrir. Again, it is the main stride for Genesis right now. It's during your turn and you stride. You can soul charge 3. Choose one of your Vanguards and it gets into end of turn. Once per turn. Kind of less 1 when you cards put in the drop zone of soul. You can pay the cost. If you do, call that to rear. So it gives every rear guard that witch effect. You can just call them out, which is nice. So maybe you don't even have to use any rear guards, or you may not even have to call any rear guards yourself and just call from the soul. So it's really nice that way. And then it has a GB2 effect. Soul Blast 3. When this unit attacks Vanguard, you pay the cost. If you do, this gets plus 1 crit till the end of the battle, and your opponent can echo grid 1 or greater units from hand to guard. So decent, but you need to boost him to really make that effect matter that much. So going into grade 4s, I run well, first 2 Atmos. This was Blizzra, but I felt that this gives more kind of oomph, and it can be the Doom Brace or whatever if you want as well. Then 2 Diones. I might increase this to 4, but right now it's and remove them of the Atmos, but it's really good. Soul Blast 3. When this attack hits a Vanguard, pay the cost. If you do look at the top 3 of your deck, put 1 of them into your hand and put the rest in your soul. So again, it's really nice. It's almost like a soul blast 1 for a draw 1 if it hits, but it gives you a nice pressure. It's the first thing that you'll probably do. And then of course Vanamir, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a GB2 Soul Blast 6. Choose a face down card itself. Turn it face up. When this attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, until end of turn, this gets at the beginning of your dry step. Look at the top card of your deck. Search for up to. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Search for up to 4 cards among them. Put them on top of your deck in any order, and put the rest in the bottom in any order. So essentially, you could decide what your drive check is. So you put all 4 back if they're good, but hopefully 3 triggers or something, and I put the 1 in the bottom, and it's really nice. It's a lot of pressure, and you'd think that it is a lot of soul usage, but Fenrir, and I think there might be other cards in here, if I recall, give you a lot of soul to work with, so it's not a very big problem. The deck is fairly competitive, but I had a very rough time with Link Joker, and Messiah in particular, and that just, and Crunch, they just destroy your field, but you know, that's with Fortuna I found that I fared a little bit better. So hopefully this gives you guys some ideas. This has been Ash from Edge, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.